some music. We are calling
All right.
Dan Vazquez.
Come on, Dan.
There we go.
We're going to try to hit up that spot today.
Calling Dan.
Dance break!
And we're calling. Dan. We are calling Dan.
What the heck are you talking
Make sure I dial the right number.
Hello?
Hello, is this Dan?
Hello?
Hey
Yes.
Dan, this is Paul, Outsider Tackle Box radio show and podcast. I got my good buddy Tommy
What's up,
here.
Paul?
That's your cue, Tommy. Say
Hey,
hi.
what's up, Dan? You know,
What's up,
when
guys?
I'm not
How's it
looking
going?
at you, Paul, why the hell are you pointing?
Because you were still Tommy's next to me, but he looked a little bit confused.
I was
we
dealing
actually
with the
we
music.
let him sometimes introduce the show to callers, but he often messes it up.
Yeah, not
He's
gonna lie.
into the fish story. He loves fishing. He's good at what he does, but sometimes he just
I like
he
how
misses
you're like,
his
oh,
cue.
he's good at what he does, but he sucks at what he is.
It's a build up, tear down.
Oh,
So
I
it's
know.
like we love you, but we also tear you down just
Yeah.
to
It's
Oh,
fine.
to help you get.
You act like I actually care about what you think.
Well, Dan, I appreciate you coming on the show. We actually went fishing based on the
Mm-hmm.
post that I saw that you put in Fishing the Inland Empire, and
Right.
I told Tommy, I said, we got to go check out Azusa. It's not far from here.
Yes.
This guy posted it. Let's go.
Hold
And
on,
I actually,
wait. Let me clarify this. My problem was I trusted him enough to follow through with everything, and he's like, "Oh, dude, we gotta go fish Azusa." I'm like, "Okay, well, I haven't fished Azusa before. Let's go. Let's go try it out." And we took another buddy of ours, Felix, who, if you watch the show, he's here usually. And Felix was like, "Oh yeah, I fish there too. Let's go up to Crystal Lake." So we went up to Crystal Lake.
Right.
Pretty lake.
Actually,
Gorgeous
there
lake.
was a tree that fell over, blocking the path. So if they were going to stock that Crystal Lake with anything, they can't.
Yeah.
There was an obstruction there. I have history actually with Azusa. I used to fish it as a kid, and then I went as an adult, and I would go fish. So I knew kind of the area, and but the water level
Not good enough because he
was
took us
so
to nowhere
high.
where the fish were.
And the photo that you posted, it was calm, and so I thought it's got to be by the campground. And so we went to the campground.
yeah.
Before, when I used to fish it, it wasn't closed off. It didn't say no trespassing. You could just go and fish. There were little pools, and they would stock it. You could see them, but the water level was so fast and so high. I've never seen it that high.
Yeah, it was.
And so I thought he's got to be somewhere else. He's probably on the West Fork, which
Yeah.
we didn't go to.
That was the one spot
Right.
we didn't go to. We went to Crystal Lake, went to the East Fork, and the one spot we didn't go was West Fork, and that's where it's like, oh, yeah.
And so
Should've went there.
I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna reach out to Dan, and we'll see if we can get him on the radio show and podcast. We'll hear his fish story, and then whenever if you want to go fishing with us, we'd
So-
love for.
So, Dan, if you're taking
The
anything
opportunity.
away from this story here before we get started with yours, Paul sucks as a guide. That's what I'm saying.
I do.
He
I didn't do
sucks as
very
a guy.
well at that one, but I lived in the Inland Empire for quite some time. I was out
Right
and we bought a home in Ukaipa. We were there for quite some time, but we kind of moved around. We were in Redlands, Riverside, and Palm Springs area.
And then until the Inland Empire kicked him out, and then he ended up here in Orange County.
Well, my wife is from Huntington Beach, Costa Mesa
So-
area. Her family's out here, and so I took a beach girl to the mountains and the desert, and they can only take so much of that. I miss it. I would
bet.
if I had my choice, I'd be living, probably in like Big Bear or the Sierra Mountains.
Well, yeah.
I love
Oh,
it there.
yeah, for sure.
But the format of the show
Definitely.
is just to tell us where you were fishing. If you would like to, you can make it up. But we kind of already gave away where you were fishing,
Well,
and then the bait that you were using, and then the size if you were able to measure it in any way. And then we
Yeah, no
post it up
problem.
later. Yeah. So this is your fish dairy.
Right on.
Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, no problem. So, I've been fishing like the Azusa Canyon area for a while now, over more than a decade, I'd say. And so before, in the earlier days, of course, they would stock it just like how you guys are saying. They would stock Crystal Lake, they would stock the East Fork, the West Fork. Not so much any days. I mean nowadays. So what I've been doing, what I've been fishing is I've been going to like Prado Lake and these other lakes where they stock them.
Yeah.
We haven't gone to those.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's a fun experience, but I kind of wanted to get away from the crowds, so because it does get kind of crowded when you go to the lakes on the days they stock. So just kind of wanted to get away and see if I could catch like a natural one, a native rainbow.
Yeah.
Because I have caught them on the East Fork before.
Where?
But East Fork. Yeah.
Well, when we went,
on the East Fork is not as forgiving as the West Fork because the West Fork's actually kind of paved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I decided to take the West Fork. The farthest I've gone in before is about like a mile or maybe 2 miles max.
Yeah.
But this time I decided, you know what? Let me go up a little farther because I was heading up the trail. I ran into a guy and he said, you know what? You got to keep going all the way up if you want to keep catching or get a shot at a nice fish. And so I took his advice and just went up further.
Now,
and like you guys said, the water levels are pretty nice right now.
Mm-hmm.
With all this rain and snow. I saw a couple fish, but you got to be really careful as an angler when you're looking at these like native fish because they see you coming right away. So
they spook really easy.
Kind of had to be really stealthy and just kind of watch my back, make sure as I'm approaching the bank that I'm stealthy and quiet. And with that approach, I got a nice fish. The bait I was using was a trout magnet. Have you guys heard of those?
Oh yeah.
Oh, we love those. I did. I killed it in Twin Lakes up in the Sierra Mountains last opener.
Oh yeah.
With those, I used the smallest one, and so yeah, we saw the picture and we're like, oh, here we go. We're gonna go catch something. And I knew we were in the wrong spot. We drove a few places. And but I thought, if they're biting on something, it's probably a good bait to use.
Yeah.
So let's just put a little bit of weight on these and try to get down.
Now
Right.
But, so you were on the West Fork side. Now, how hard is it to get there? Because, like I said, when we were on the East Fork, you basically just drive up, park, and then walk down to the river. But
right.
But the West Fork, you go down and then does that take you in a little bit? Then you just kind of stop and then hike back up?
You basically park, you cross this bridge, and that's where right where you parked is a bridge, a little wooden bridge. As soon as you cross that, the river is under it.
Uh-huh.
And you have two options. You can either hike down or walk down, which is more towards the off-road area.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay. The OHV area?
And then
okay.
Yeah, and then that'll kind of lead you down to the dam. But if you walk the opposite way, you're kind of walking up the river, and it's pretty well paved.
It's like a fire road,
and,
right? Or just kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And I think.
So we're not gonna get attacked by mountain lions. You could, but still, we're not gonna.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. I'm just saying it's a little bit more of a. It's not like I'm tromping through trees or anything.
No, not at all. But it can get that way if you're walking like literally alongside the river. But yeah, you can totally walk up the road. It's basically a road.
Yeah.
You'll see a lot of I think they're
like
with the water
bicyclists.
company.
You'll see some bicyclists and stuff like that cruising that. But what I'm saying is, it's a well traveled road. You'll see people. It's not like you're by yourself on a little path or something.
Oh no, yeah, plenty of people go hiking, take their dogs.
We're good.
You'll see a couple fishermen here and there.
Okay,
It's really nice right now.
Park near the bridge. Go over the bridge. Go up.
Yes.
I know where to go, Tommy.
You said that last time, and we ended up everywhere else but there.
Well, we will. If you don't trust me, we'll wait for Dan to. He actually works. How often do you fish it? I know you mentioned that you work today and and you work on Saturdays. But are you go during the week on your days off, or are you out there?
Yeah, I try to fish at least once a week.
Cool.
So I try to go on my days off. I don't really go up that way every day off, but it has been a goal lately to see what's going on there, especially checking out the water levels, and
it's
really nice to see.
It's not. It's scenic and it's so close. It's in. It feels like it's in our backyard.
We
It
drove
feels
around
like the Sierra Mountains a little bit. Minus the trees that they got over there, but it's like there is a wilderness, and the water reminds me of when we go fishing.
We certainly drove around enough last weekend to be able to see all the scenes.
We did.
Like, let's go up here.
Well, we got out there pretty late because we did the podcast in the morning, and then we had to do the post-production stuff, and then we didn't get out there till like 12 o'clock because Tommy took me on a scenic drive to go look at a house he's trying to buy, and then he had to go to his house, and I don't even know. He left me in the car.
No, then we got over to Felix.
And then he was like, "Oh, dude, I'm hungry. Of course, I should have. I was ready to go fishing."
That's gonna happen.
So we stopped. I was like, let's get some beer.
That's all.
So we could go fishing, and we're in the 7-Eleven, right there off of Azusa.
Mm-hmm.
And Tommy's like, "Let's eat." Like,
I wasn't gonna eat 7-Eleven food.
He's like, "No, you said, are we gonna get something here?" Like Tommy was ready to get the roller food.
I was.
And he was like, "That looks good,
but then
you should taste them. They're great. Let's get some of those." And I was like, "Tommy, I'm not gonna eat roller food. I know you're hungry, and I'm not gonna go fishing." And Tommy being hangry, so
I would have been that grizzly bear in the woods, like, "Oh, get out of my way!"
So we stopped off at that Jack in the Box before we went up the mountain,
and then
by the time we got anywhere, it was maybe 1.
It didn't matter because the thing is you guys took us. You and Felix both took me nowhere where the fish were.
I did get some good footage of Tommy trying to climb a wall,
the retaining wall over on the East Fork,
and he tried to do a pull up.
That didn't look good.
And Tommy's, I won't say how much he weighs, but let's just say, somebody who's like...
I'm festively
5'9", 5'10", and maybe 300.
No, I'm 5'7".
Okay,
so I'm shorter.
I gave you
and I'm only 240.
He's lying.
No, I swear.
But he's trying to do a pull up, and his feet did not leave the ground. I missed that part of it, but I did catch him actually swinging his leg over the wall and getting on top. But I said the F-bomb, and I haven't edited the video. Otherwise, I'd post it on Facebook. But it's pretty funny.
I don't know an angler. I'll be honest. I don't know an angler past the age of 13 that has never used the F-bomb while fishing.
Well, it's a family show, Tommy.
I understand it's a family show, but I'm just saying.
I don't want to be throwing it up on.
I'm just saying.
We don't post a ton of pictures that are inappropriate, and we do have some here and there. But
there's pictures of you that's inappropriate enough.
So I don't want to put it up yet. Plus, I mean, you can complain all you want, but you don't even touch the media part of this thing. So just keep complaining.
I'm hearing a lot of complaining, Dan. All he does is whine. Anyway. So I think we're gonna try to go out there again today. I think he's trying to redeem himself, and try to prove that he knows where the fish are now. Why? Because you told him.
We love going fishing with locals, Dan. I mean,
definitely.
Are you a Southern California native? Are you born and raised out here?
Yeah, definitely. I've been out here for my whole life, pretty much.
There you go.
Yeah, me too.
Been in the West Covina area for the last 20 years.
Perfect. There you go. See,
Felix lives
in Covina, so
he lives in Covina, and
right.
he makes
Right
the
on.
custom rods.
yeah.
Puts the Outsider logo on them. Tommy is a Santa Ana Santa Ana native, so I mean there is some smart people in Santa Ana, but I would say the majority are not, and Tommy falls somewhere in those. I grew up in Norwalk, LA County,
Which is
so I'm an LA guy.
That explains a lot.
Yeah, so Tommy and I have pretty. I don't know what it's like growing up in the IE though. You know, I know San Bernardino is a pretty tough area.
You were the dorkiest, dirtiest person to ever come out of the ghetto. That's all I gotta say.
And people often tell me that, like, you're the smartest guy we know in this area.
Which is not saying much. They are so wrong.
Which is not saying much.
Coming out of that area, yeah, probably.
Well, my parents sent me to 12 years of Catholic school, so what do you expect, Tommy?
You probably wear a skirt when nobody is around.
Well,
anyway.
I was... I'm glad you didn't take that joke where I thought it was going to go. I kind of put my foot in my mouth on it. Because people, when they hear Catholic school, they're like, hey, they were like...
No,
it's
I'm
usually
just saying.
A priest in
I
the joke.
just said
And
that
like
you
some
probably
form
wear
of like touching or something. Like people always do that. It's
You
like
were-
an easy joke to go to.
Too.
Yeah, you. That's all I said is you probably wear your little plaid skirt.
Oh, the plaids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pull up the socks.
You just seem like the type that didn't go to like male Catholic school. You look like the one that went to like the girls' Catholic school. Like you
I wish.
probably wore a skirt.
Actually, there was a school that it was all girls, and they changed it to co-ed. So if you were the first one to kind of go there, it was it was mostly girls. It was St. Pius. It was all girls, and then they're like, we're gonna co-ed this thing. And so the first guys to go in there were like probably. They're like, this is the greatest
People looked at you
I've
and they're
ever
like,
made.
why doesn't he go there? Why doesn't he go there?
Genius move.
This is genius. Well, I hear you trying to tell me I'm feminine right now, Tommy, but
Absolutely.
I'm just like, that would have been pretty cool to go to,
You are feminine.
like, jump into a school. And
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name's Paul.
Nothing to grow. Yeah.
where I was going with this conversation is that we have similar backgrounds.
Yeah.
We love fishing.
We love fishing with locals, so,
So let's
we'll
go
meet
fishing
up
with Dan whenever he gets a chance.
Yeah, for sure, guys.
Tommy is a good size where he doesn't like to hike too much. I don't know that we'll get him any 2 or 3 miles in,
I'll get up there.
but
I'll get up there.
we will definitely try, and then we like to post.
That's why I had to know if it was an access road. If I have like a way to like have a bike or something, I could just. I wouldn't even bike up there. I'd have you bike me up
I've
there.
never even seen you on a bike, dude.
It's not pretty. I look like one of those circus bears.
I don't even know where the bike seat would go. Like, it would get lost. It'd just be like, where'd that bike seat go?
Where does the bike go? He's just got a wheel coming out of his back end.
Like, dude, you're putting way too much stress on those bike tires. Like, you're asking a lot from that bike tire.
Like, Tom, didn't you bring a bike? I'm like, I'm on it. You're like, wow.
You know how many flat tires we're going to change just from you running over a rock? And there's a lot of rocks out there. Because the ragged edge of those rocks and your weight, it's physics. There's nothing that's going to stop those things from breaking.
Whatever. The hike up to Crystal Lake almost got me a little bit though.
You should have heard. I wish I would have recorded it, but him like the wind.
The air was thin.
Yeah,
I'm a smoker. And climbing up going up and around and down and all that. I was a little winded. I'm not gonna lie.
A little.
Yeah.
Okay, you stick with that story.
I sounded like a pug. I sounded like a pug. I was like. Oh man. But anyway, Dan, it's been a pleasure talking to you, bud. You are always welcome back onto the show, and like I said, we'll reach out to you or reach out to us anytime you want to go fishing and you say, hey, I'm gonna go out this way. You guys want to meet up? Whatever.
If you know anybody else in that group too, I know I reached out to the admin of the Inland Empire Southern California fishing group, and I think we might have I think it's Joe Poshman.
Yeah,
We might have
right
him
on.
on the show too. He's busy next weekend, but we'll have him on soon. But anybody else, any of your fishing buddies or anybody
Yeah.
from that group is
They're-
welcome to come on the show
Yep.
and just tell their fish story. I mean, it's just easy as what you did. It's just people really enjoy hearing about how you catch fish, and everybody has a fish story, and there's usually that one that comes with a photo, and we don't always get to hear it when people are just posting fish
Right.
Yep.
on social media. So this gives us a platform to hear a little bit of the fun that people were having, and actually it took off, so people
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're welcome
Right
anytime,
on.
and I
Thanks, guys.
really do want to go fishing with you.
Yeah, we'll get together. We'll go do some fishing. We'll drink some beers and have a good time.
Tommy wrote down Prado Lake. He's taking notes,
Yep.
and
Because
so
I'm
Yeah,
I'm
he's
actually a decent person that does his job.
well, I have it up here, Tommy. Like I have it in my head. Like
Oh,
he
it's long
he
gone
said
by now.
Prado Lake. I was like, okay, it's Prado. And
That head is so full of air. Anyway, so
it's a pleasure having you on the show. From all of us here at Outsider Tackle Box Radio Show. And
tight
podcast.
lines, bud.
Tight lines.
Have a
Fish
good
more.
Saturday.
Thanks,
Fish
Dad.
more.
Right
All right, bud. Take
Thanks for
care.
having me, guys.
Oh yeah,
Appreciate it.
for sure. Bye.
Bye bye.